the facts in the statement. As the development of the case happens, in this case, we started with the investigation. Then the investigation was handed over.
I understand it. Let me.
So, when the investigation was handed over, some of the information that we had was never communicated from my side. I can't talk about the other one. Was not communicated and documented into the in the statement. Later back, the new investigation had to come, and as he went with the investigation, he filling the missing gaps as he picked it up. But small things that was not mentioned in the first statement went missing between the statements.
No, of course. I mean, for example, if you make a statement on 15 February 2013 and things happen subsequently, you have two choices. The one is to put in a further statement, and the other one is not to change your statement.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
That's correct.
But the fact remains, I mean, you're a senior, you were a senior officer, that material facts you would not omit. You will deal with them, and you will deal with them correctly in your statement.
If that is the case, yes. But as I said, it happens in this case that there was certain evidence that was not captured in certain statements.
Could you just repeat that, please? You lowered your voice.
I said no, it happens, and in this case, when it was handed over, there was small things that was omitted between statements.
Like what was that? The small things that you referred to?
Let me quickly think. Things like when my first statement was made. In my first statement, I didn't mention about the fact of the open door.
The
open door on the main bedroom. That was not mentioned.
What else?
We think there's a couple of things that I picked up. In my first statement as well. Okay, in my first statement, compared, and that was dealt with. That's the only thing that I quickly can remember now.
Well, if I may assist you, you also made a second statement.
That's correct.
To
yes.
supplement the first statement.
That is correct.
But again, the same principles would apply. You would deal with material facts, and if you remember something that you have not dealt with in the first statement, of course you will deal with that in the second statement.
The second statement, when the second statement was taken, my lady, there were certain questions asked from the investigation officer regarding certain points that the union highlighted. So in that regard, I answer his questions, and that is highlighted in that statement.
Yes. And that's also the perfect opportunity, if you want to correct something, to correct it in. And I'm not talking about the open door. You can accept it.
If there was opportunity, then I agree. Yes, there was maybe an opportunity to do.
And similarly, Warrant Officer Botha, Hilton Botha, he was, as you said, a knowledgeable and experienced policeman.
That is correct, my lady.
And he also, in your experience, he would share the same views as you on the responsibility to submit a truthful and complete or comprehensive statement.
Taking the circumstances that happens afterwards, my lady, but as a police officer, as I know him, at the time of the crime scene, and afterwards, until I know him, he will do that if he's aware of the fact. He would have done that if he's aware of that.
Yes, and what's of course particularly helpful, if you make your first statement and you made that to Hilton Botha, then you have that assistance that if there's something wrong that he can say to you, but Colonel, you say A now, but actually I was there, it's B. You had that assistance because you made that to him. He took your statement.
The benefit of investigation officers on the crime scene. My lady, one must remember, it's not one person part of. It's not one person forming the team. There was a team, and that also means the forensic experts. We had a team on the crime scene. When we discuss about what we're going to gather, we discuss it and we just said, right, this is needed. We had to take this. So each and everybody was involved in their discussions. Sometimes some people was left out, so up to a stage, Warrant Officer Botha went to Bronkhorstspruit for the autopsy on the 14th. So he was, for apparent reason, he was not available. He came back later, so some of the things he missed, we informed him when he come back. But it could happen that one or two things could have happened. But when you continue with the investigation, all the things will follow in place, and we will fit it up, and we will make sure everything is being highlighted.
I'm making a different point, Colonel. I say, if you sit on the 15th of February, and you make a statement, and that statement is made to the investigating officer Hilton Botha, and you talk about events the previous day, the benefits, of course, that if you're wrong, that he can help you and say, well, it was not 10 o'clock, it was actually 12 o'clock because I was with you. That's what I'm saying. You had that added benefit.
One added benefit.
Yes, you were not making your statement to a stranger. You would, in fact, the statement was taken, your statement was taken by Hilton Botha, who was with you the previous day, or on the 14th. That's the benefit that you had.
That's correct. I agree with you.
So, I interrupted the first line of questioning, and that was this. On that day, my understanding is that the first persons, other than, of course, the accused, and possibly, before your time, paramedics, Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp. We know they were there before the time. Apart from them, the first persons that went to the first floor, went upstairs, would be you and Hilton Botha. It would have been the two of you.
That was after I arrived on the scene.
Yes. And that's why I excluded them, because you would not know what happened with the paramedics, you would not know what happened, what the procedure was with Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp.
That is correct.
That was before your time.
Yes.
So we can take it from that timeline. And you arrived, my understanding, about 3:45 the morning of the 14th of February 2013, roundabout, at the scene.
That's correct.
You called Hilton Botha, and then the two of you went up to follow the blood spatter, the blood drops upstairs.
That is correct. Already.
Where was the accused when you and Hilton Botha went upstairs? Where did you leave him?
He was still in the kitchen.
And you had two questions by the state, one yesterday and one today, that you can state as a fact that no other policeman but for the two of you, and then subsequently, shortly thereafter, also the photographer went upstairs. Now, I'm not talking after the photos. I'm talking from the time that you went to the time of the photographer. Those were the persons who went upstairs. You, Hilton Botha, and the photographer.
That's correct.
And I understand afterwards, some of you explained that, some of the forensic members went up to do their investigation. I'm talking about the early morning time. You understand? Are you satisfied that your answer is correct in that respect?
I'm 100% sure.
100% sure. I want you, because I see it's not far and I will carry on, but I want to make it available to you so that in all fairness that you have sufficient time to read your two statements during the tea adjournment. I will hand it to you, to the court. It seems, and you must assist me, it did not come through on the copies, and I will take steps to, this is the one for you. I will just first show you the back of my document. Maybe the state can assist when that first statement was made, before I officially hand in. There is the original that I hand to you. If you can just tell us when that statement was made.
My lady, if he's talking about A14,
you will see there's a date stamp at the back.
yes, there's a date stamp at the back. No, there's not a date stamp at the back, it's certificate. Are you, sorry, but I just want
That's
to...
right.
That's the one you're referring to.
That's when you took the oath that the statement was the truth and the whole truth and nothing else but the truth.
The date stamp on this one is the 16th.
16th.
I think, yeah, it shows, looks like the 6th that...
Yes, that may be. My lady,
16, 17,
I
100.
apologize. I will take steps. Unfortunately, when they copied the statement, the stamp was at the back, but we will take steps to also make a copy of that page.
Yes, but you show it's A14.
That would be, is it marked in the front?
A14.
Yes.
A40.
A14.
A14.
Thank you.
And just
Page-
look through it before I
back of
hand it
page
in.
4.
Just confirm you're a senior officer work that that's in fact your first statement.
That was my first statement.
You have seen it since and you've read through
Yeah.
it and you're satisfied that's your statement.
Yeah, that's my statement.
Yes. My lady, would the court accept this? I think it's Exhibit GG.
Yes, this will be GG.
And then your second statement.
No, just hold on. We don't have F. FF.
I thought it was the inventory.
Yeah, the inventory was...
The inventory I thought was FF. If you would just bear with me, my lady, to get the correct number. I was told that the inventory was FF. Maybe I was wrong. Yes, what I have, my lady, according to our list, if I might say, there was the cut out picture of the part of the prosthetic foot. That was EE. And then we know there was the inventory.
You're quite correct.
That inventory must be FF. I think that maybe there was an omission to give it a formal
Yes.
number.
I said the inventory is EE. It should be FF.
FF indeed,
Yes.
my lady.
So this will be GG.
And then my apologies, I understand now the back of that statement is also the witness's second statement. We will split that up for you. Do you also have your second statement there?
That is correct, man. A14. I don't know what the other number is there.
A14A.
A14A. Yeah.
Yes.
And when was that made?
But this was taken by
Captain van Aert.
Captain van Aert, and there's no stamp here. But the bottom here, Pretoria, the
Can I hand you
8th of May, 20.
8th of May, that's indeed correct. My lady, that would then be accepted as GG.
No. Oh, GG.
HH, my lady, the second statement's HH.
8th of May.
You also confirm the correctness of that.
That is correct.
Oh, this is the yes.
So just to avoid any possible further confusion, your first statement was made on 16 February 2014, and it was deposed to by you, and the commissioner in that case was Hilton Botha.
According to the stamps, and according to them, there's in the 60.
Yes.
That's correct.
And the second statement was made 8th May, and there the commissioner was Captain van Aert.
And that is according to the entry on the bottom. Yes.
Now, what I want you to do, I will carry on till the tea adjournment, not to waste time, but I want you, during the adjournment, again to read. I know you've read them a number of times, but please read through your two statements again during the adjournment. Will you do so?
I will do so.
In the meantime, I will deal with other aspects, and it's this. That morning, you were at a armed robbery at Mooi Kloof Riff Estate.
That was correct.
And that is quite an affluent estate with access, security access control and security guards.
That is correct.
And in your experience, that won't stop crime.
No, my lady, doesn't that stop? No, security gate, even security fencing, if the criminal really wants to commit, that doesn't stop.
And that morning was again an unfortunate example of that. It was an armed robbery there, in that affluent estate.
That is correct.
Then you said that you then rushed to the house of Mr. Pistorius. You arrived there approximately 4:45. And if you could just explain to the court the emotional state of Mr. Pistorius when you were there, when you arrived there.
Well, my lady, as I previously testified, that he was emotional. He was very emotional. I can't say unstable, but I'll say emotional. He was unstable. He was crying, and he was really, you can see he was upset. Not upset in a furious way, but upset emotionally.
Was it your impression when you asked him what had happened that he was so emotional that he could not answer?
That was my own deduction that I made.
Yes. It was not that he was ignoring you, it was just he was overcome by emotion. He could not answer. That was your observation.
At to the first and second time that I asked him what happens, he was at that emotional state.
Yeah, the emphasis is, of course, that he was so overcome by emotions that he could not answer.
No, he didn't say that he was overcome by emotion. He didn't talk to me at all. I just observed that I saw he was emotionally.
Would you have described him as, in your observation, that he could not answer because of emotions?
As I said, yes, my deduction was, as a result of his emotional state, he was not able to answer me.
Yeah. And when you asked him again, was your observation, and I quote, he still was not able to talk?
That is correct.
Then you secure the necessary official services, and you also contacted Hilton Botha, and in that time period you also had a conversation with, I think it was Christan.
That's
in
correct.
That time period.
Yeah, in that time period.
You also, in that time period, asked Mr. Pistorius, who was in the kitchen, to move back to the rear side of the kitchen and to remain there.
That is correct, my lady.
Which he obeyed.
Yes.
And it was at that time, when he was there, that Mr. Hilton Botha arrived, and you followed the blood spatter marks upstairs.
Yes, we first did the body. We started from the
First
body, and then we went up.
What was the time then, more or less?
My lady, I will not be able to tell, because as the things develop, I didn't continue watching my watch as it happens.
But it was still very early in the morning.
It was early. It was still.
So you went upstairs, and where did you go to first? Once you're upstairs, on the first floor.
As I indicated previously, my lady, we take the stairs and we follow the blood trail.
Now,
Okay.
Understand, you're up now.
Upstairs.
You're on the
left
first
hand
floor.
door, the door on the left hand side. the door on the left-hand side, feeling the lock, make sure the door has been locked and it's not it's been damaged or tampered with or what.
I'm sorry, once you enter the door of the main bedroom, where did you go to?
Okay, you're talking about the main bedroom.
Yes.
Right. The main bedroom, the main focus, as we stopped there because we didn't know what we're going to find next, so we first stopped in the main bedroom. Now, when I entered there, I observed what is happening in the main bedroom, what we saw in the main bedroom. And then from there, I turned left and I went to the bathroom.
So you say you observed what was in the main bedroom. What did you observe?
When I entered, first thing that I entered in the main bedroom was this pellet gun that was standing there, the cabinet with all the sunglasses, then the watches that were standing there, then the hi-fi, and then the bed. How it was with the duvet lying on the side, and the trousers that was laying, brook that was laying there next to the.
Speak up a little bit, please, Mr.
To the duvet. The following thing that I noticed was the plockies of
the sandals.
The sandals. The sandals was on the left side of the bed. As
well
well
the slippers,
as
I think it was rather slippers.
Yeah,
or sandals, which
the
one?
sandals. It's not slippers. It's you just put your feet into them and you walk. And then also the bag that was standing on the couch on the left hand side. On the right hand side, the light was on. When I entered in, the light was on, so the visibility was good in the bedroom. Then I picked up the fan. What
did you see about the fan?
The fan. I'm talking about the metallic one, the stainless steel one. You can say it like that. But it was standing in front of the door, and then that the curtains was open. I didn't go to the right-hand side at that stage because the blood trial moved to the left.
So what you mean, you did not walk into the room?
I moved into the room, but it didn't move to the right. I moved to the left, following the blood trail.
I understand that, meaning you did not go closer to the bed?
No,
you moved to the left to the bathroom.
I didn't fall closer to the bed.
You did not go closer to the bed?
That's correct.
So what distance would you say you were about from the bed at that time when you made the observation, more or less?
No, I'm not the distance. Let's say maybe 2-3 meters. I can be wrong, I can be.
So that was your observation as you've explained to us now?
Yeah.
You saw the pellet gun, and I think with it there was a baseball bat.
At that stage, first when I entered, I didn't notice that baseball bat. The baseball bat, one thing one must remember, my lady, is if you're the first person on the crime, you saw certain things. But in this case, when you become the first person and also assisting the team investigation, you discover things later as well. So when you actually come to the point when you're making a statement, it tends to happen that the first things that you saw is incorporated into your statement. Why? Not purposely, but eventually you saw everything, you saw the big picture. So in this case, what would have happened is, if we continue with the investigation, I would have presented a statement at the end indicating everything that I saw, as well as from the beginning. Okay. But when I entered there, not at the stage, I didn't see the baseball bat.
Yes, I understand that. I'm just trying to ascertain the extent of your first observation.
Now, that is the challenging one.
Yes, that is it?
That's a challenging one, as I said, if you is involved in the later investigation.
No, of course, but so you were not going into the bedroom, meaning to the bedside. You were in the bedroom, but you turned left down the passage going to the bathroom.
Yes, that is correct.
Is my understanding correct?
That is the understanding.
And what you observed just before turning to the left to go down the passage, you observed what you've just explained.
That's correct.
You then decided to follow the blood spatter.
That is correct.
Which my understanding is followed the path down the passage to the bathroom,
That is
between
correct.
the cupboards.
That is correct.
And that is where you observed, close to the entrance of the bathroom, in the passage still a empty cartridge.
That is correct.
The spent card.
Empty cartridge, spent
yeah.
cartridge.
And you then turned into the bathroom.
That's,
Still with Hilton Botha.
that is correct.
Who was leading?
At that stage, I wouldn't say. I don't know what. I can't say who was leading because we was together. We couldn't come in first. He was in the beginning when we entered the bathroom, the main bedroom. He was in the front. If you ask me now if you turn right or you turn left, I can't remember. But as we went through the passage, then I saw. That's why I'm saying I saw the spent cartridge. I can't remember if he saw it with me because we didn't talk about who saw it first. But that is what I.
That you draw his attention to it.
Some of the things that I saw, I draw his attention to, and some of the things that he saw, he draws his attention to me.
So there was communication between.
There was communication between us.
So you're in the bathroom, and there you observed a number of things.
That is correct.
How long did you stay in the bathroom?
We was there for a while. We was there for a while. If I say for a while, I can't say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but as we were standing, we went through from this point to that point and that point, picking up what we saw, and just to first establish what really, or what we thought happens there, to get the impression what we have to do and investigate further.
You did not disturb anything in the bathroom.
Nothing at all.
You did not see Mr. Hilton Botha disturbing anything in the bathroom,
Nothing.
picking anything up, or moving
Nothing.
anything.
Nothing. We didn't touch anything.
And then from the bathroom, where did you go to then?
I turned around and I went because my reasoning was the information that I received is that the accused said that he shot the intruder, or he thought that Reeva was the intruder, and that is why the shot was fired. So my intention of an investigation was to determine if there was an intruder. And that's why when I left the bathroom, I went past the main bed, the bed, and I went out of the open door onto the patio, that stoop area.
Would that be, if I may ask, through the sliding door of the main bed?
Sliding door of the main bed, that's correct.
Onto the patio there?
That is correct.
Was that to look if you can see anything suspicious?
Anything suspicious. What I did is, while I was standing on this patio stoop, if you access the sliding door, you turn left. I turned left and I start looking there. Then on the bottom of the outside wall of the house, there was ladders. Now, I can't tell if it's 3 or 4 or 5, but it was not one. It was, I think it's 3, maybe more than 3, if it's not 3. Ladders where they were stretched on top one of one another, but they was lying flat. They was lying flat on the ground. And then I turned again around, and that stoop there's also, I turn around and I go into the, into the main bedroom, back into the main bedroom.
Still with Hilton Botha?
Hilton, at that stage I don't think he was outside with me. He was still inside.
So you did not see what he was doing inside?
No, I didn't.
Did you, when going through the bedroom to the balcony, did you observe something new that you've not seen before with your first observation?
No, nothing at all. And even with Warrant Officer Botha, he still had everything that he had with him. He didn't have anything with him, but he didn't touch, he didn't take anything, he didn't have anything in his hands. He was just...
Yes, and you yourself, you did not pick up anything?
Not at all, my lady.
And did you observe anything new that you've not seen at a time when you just entered the bedroom?
When I entered back into the bedroom, then this, the right-hand side of the bed, that cables that was lying there, as it indicated on the photo, I noticed that. Then we went around, because it was very surprising for me, these two blockies, as I said, on the left-hand side.
So you focused on that?
I focused on that because, I don't know why, but That just happened. So I went around to the left-hand side, and then I noticed the holster, the firearm holster lying in the bed.
Just to avoid any possible confusion, when you talk about the left-hand side, it is when you face the bed, where the headboard of the bed would be.
That is correct.
That left-hand side, not when you're lying on the bed.
Yeah, yeah. If you actually
When you're standing at the bottom
of
end and looking at the bed.
that is correct.
That's that left-hand side.
That is correct.
So you went around because you focused on the pluckies, and what did you do there?
And then, as I said, then I observed the holster that was lying on the bedside table, on the left hand
On the
side.
bedside table.
Yeah.
Did you pick it up?
No, I didn't pick it up. I just left it.
Were you acutely aware that you should not disturb the scene?
I didn't disturb and I didn't pick it up.
Did you have that awareness?
Yes, yes.
And what was Mr. Botha doing at that time?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing that time, my lady.
And then, what did you then do? Did you go out? Did you remain there?
Yes. Then I went out of the main bedroom, my lady. Then I accessed the first bedroom next to the main bedroom.
Where was Mr. Botha now?
I don't know at that stage where he was at that stage.
You can't say that he was with you.
I don't believe. I can't remember.
You tend to
No, he was not with me when I entered that bed.
So he stayed behind in the...
I don't know if he stayed behind or if he was in the passage, but he didn't want to move me.
But he was not with you.
That's correct.
So you went into, was it another bedroom?
I went into that first en-suite bedroom next to the main bedroom.
And what did you do in there?
There I also went to the windows. All the window was locked, and also the door was locked. There was a key in the door, and I took the, what you call, this curtain, you can see it through. I took it and it was locked, the key as well was locked. And it was being the key of that particular door. So there was nothing is disturbed and nobody entered there as well.
I'm sorry, I just forgot to ask something in the bathroom. I'm taking you back to the main bathroom. You saw the open bathroom window. Is it correct that the toilet window was closed?
I'm not aware of the toilet window.
Did you not see a toilet window?
Yes, I'm not aware of the bathroom window, as indicated in the photo, with the
With the blinds on top?
The blinds on top.
And the frosted glass?
Yes. That one I looked out and I personally looked out of the window.
And the toilet window?
No.
Did not see it?
There's no toilet window. There's no toilet window.
There's no toilet window?
That I saw, yeah.
You thought I wanted to catch you out by saying there's a toilet window. There is a toilet window.
Is that right?
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
My lady, would it be an opportune time?
We'll take our tea break.
That is correct, my lady.
And he also, in your experience, he would share the same views as you on the responsibility to submit a truthful and complete or comprehensive statement.
Taking the circumstances that happens afterwards, my lady, but as a police officer, as I know him, at the time of the crime scene, and afterwards, until I know him, he will do that if he's aware of the fact. He would have done that if he's aware of the fact.
Yes, and what's of course particularly helpful, if you make your first statement and you made that to Hilton Botha, then you have that assistance that if there's something wrong that he can...
The facts in the statement. As the development of the case happens, in this case, we started with the investigation. Then the investigation was handed over.
I understand it. Let me...
So when the investigation was handed over, some of the information that we had was never communicated from my side. I can't talk about the other one. Was not communicated and documented into in the statement. Later back, the new investigation after come, and as he went with the investigation, he filling the missing gaps as he picked it up. But small things that was not mentioned in the first statement went missing between the statements.
No, of course. I mean, for example, if you make it...
Correct.
But again, the same principles would apply. You would deal with material facts, and if you remember something that you have not dealt with in the first statement, of course you will deal with that in the second statement.
The second statement, when the second statement was taken, my lady, there were certain questions asked from the investigation officer regarding certain points that the union highlighted. So in that regard, I answer his questions, and that is highlighted in that statement.
Yes. And that's also the perfect opportunity, if you want to correct something, to correct it in. And I'm not talking about the open door. You can accept it.
If there was opportunity, then I agree, yes, there was maybe an opportunity to do.
And similarly, Warrant Officer Hilton Botha, he was, as you said, a knowledgeable and experienced policeman.
When my first statement was made, in my first statement I didn't mention about the fact of the open door.
The
open door on the main bedroom. That was not mentioned.
What else?
We think there's a couple of things that I picked up. Well, in my first statement as well. Okay, in my first statement, compared, and that was dealt with. It's the only thing that I quickly can remember now.
Well, if I may assist you, you also made a second statement.
That's correct.
To supplement the first statement.
That
The
is
statement on 15 February 2013, and things happened subsequently. You have two choices. The one is to put in a further statement, and the other one is not to change your statement.
Yeah,
Is that not correct?
that's correct.
But the fact remains, I mean, you're a senior, you were a senior officer, that material facts you would not omit. You will deal with them, and you will deal with them correctly in your statement.
If that is the case, yes. But as I said, it happens in this case that there was certain evidence that was not captured in certain statements.
Could you just repeat that, please? You lowered your voice.
I said no, it happens, and in this case, when it was handed over, there was small things that was omitted between statements.
Like what? What was that? These small things that you referred to.
Let me quickly think. Things like